How hard can it be to furnish the rooms of the villa your family recently bought? Even though everyone agreed on designing each room in a certain style, everybody has his own idea of what is cool. However you design a room, be assured your family disagrees. Hello, I'm Arthur V. Kuhrmeier from K-Arthur Games. I'm the designer of the card game Villa Snailshell, and I'm gonna introduce you to the gameplay. Let's set up a game for a yellow and a red player. We have already shuffled the cards and deal each player 5 cards one by one, normally face down, but for the purpose of this introduction we'll place them face up. Next we set up the stock by dealing 5 cards face up. Next to it we place the unused cards face down. This is the resource deck. The yellow player begins by creating a new room. He places 2 or more of his hand cards on the table. If the player is finished, he picks any cards from the stock and adds them to his hand cards until he has again 5 cards. Finally, he draws new cards from the resource deck face up to fill up the stock. You can add cards to an existing room or create a new room, as much as you desire. To finish his turn, the red player picks cards from the stock and adds them to his hand cards, and then refills the stock. Of course, the designed rooms are supposed to look nice. That's why you have 3 possibilities to design a room. The red player is very excited because 3 of his hand cards already show the same color, in his case gold. Let's look at the rooms that have already been created. The first room follows one theme, in this case minimalist. That's the symbol above the color. The second room was designed in one style, here vintage. You can recognize the style by the wallpaper of the card. And this is the important rule. At the end of the player's turn, every room must consist of a minimum of 2 cards and a maximum of 6 of the same style, theme or color. The yellow player sees an opportunity to lock a room and gain the first winning points. He has 3 hand cards of the theme decor. The beauty of this game is that you can rearrange any rooms you like. Only 1 card needs to remain in a room. So the player rearranges the decor card from the vintage room. Now the room has only 1 card left, and the player needs to add another card, either of the theme office, the color black, or the style vintage. Because the player needs the black card to lock his room, the only option left is the style vintage. He could use his hand card, but he decides to rearrange the first room instead. At the end of his turn, a player can only lock 1 room if it has exactly 4 cards. As you can see, the theme decor is worth 1 point. So the player places 1 chip on the last card for everyone to see. Only a room worth 0 cannot be locked. That would be a room of a certain style or the colors brown or red. To complete his turn, the yellow player picks cards from the stock and refills it. A locked room is protected. No cards can be taken away, nor can other cards be added to it. Quite protected. There is only one way to remove a card from a locked room. the player needs 2 hand cards of the same style. He can now remove exactly 1 card of the same style from any locked room. At the end of the player's turn, this newly created room needs to hold at least 4 cards. The red player still has to add a second card to the first room, and he decides to place another card in order to get more new cards from the stock. Before he does so, the chip from the formerly locked room has to be removed. The red player not only unlocked a room, he also made a foolish move. He cannot lock his newly created room because it is worth 0, as it is of a style, in this case Victorian. If you take a closer look, you'll notice that there are now 5 cards of the theme Decor, which can be freely rearranged. The yellow player can now easily finish a room, which gives him more and secure winning points. Stop. This situation reveals a glimpse of the possibilities you have in this game. Let's have a closer look how the yellow player finishes even 2 rooms. First, he gathers cards to finish a room of the style Vintage. Second, he gathers cards of the theme Decor to finish another room. Once a room has the maximum of 6 cards, it is finished and scores double the points. The theme Decor is worth 1 point, times 2 equals 2 points. The yellow player puts the room as a deck face up next to the resource deck and places his chips on top. A room of a style, here Vintage, scores 0, times 2 equals 0. But luckily there is the at least 1 point rule. This room will also be placed as a deck face up with a chip on top. Only the score of a finished room is certain. In a 2-players game, if there are 6 finished rooms, the game ends. Each player counts his points from the finished rooms and the locked rooms. The player with the highest score is announced Master Decorator. Though the basic game offers lots of opportunities, there are 3 additional card types that really spice up the game. The floor card may only be added to a room with exactly 4 cards, which will lock the first floor forever. No cards from this floor can be taken, including the floor card itself. The cards in the second floor are independent from the first floor regarding style, theme or color. This room can only be finished if exactly 4 cards are placed in the second floor. The score of this room will not be doubled, but added up. The theme Decor is worth 1 point. The floor card is worth 1 bonus point. The color Gold is also worth 1 point. This room will also be placed as a deck face up next to the resource deck with the chips on top. Crab cards are like room cards of a certain style and the theme crab, but they don't have a color. If a player locks a room of the theme crab, it is even worth 4 points. To add a crab card to a different room, there must be at least 1 room card of the same style as the crab card. A room with a crab card can neither be locked nor finished. Family cards have neither theme nor color, only a certain style. To add a family card to a room, there must be at least 1 room card of the same style as the family card. Each family card provides a different action. For example, with the Granny you can remove an entire room that is not locked. Or the Sister allows the player to take another turn once he has completed this turn. A family card adds a bonus point to the room. This makes the locked room of the theme music worth 3 points. A room of a certain style is worth 0, but with a family card it is worth 1 point and can even be locked. If at the end of the game a player has hand cards with a starfish on it, these cards score minus. The game includes a 12-page booklet which explains all the rules in detail. Thank you for your interest in Villa Snailshell.